Hey guys, I just got back from a pre-screening of Don't Breathe. Um, this is a movie that I was immensely looking forward to. Especially since I got the trailers, I've seen trailers for this like about a few months ago. I've been pretty hyped about it, and also the fact that this movie's been getting like unanimous praise, like up and down. It's been getting like some really good praise. I mean, I like some of the best reviews for a horror movie I've seen in a while, pretty much. Honestly, this year so far in horror films has been probably the best that I could think of in about a decade. It feels like because a lot of times lately it's just been bad horror movie after bad horror movie after bad horror movie. This year we've gotten Conjuring 2, we've gotten with The Witch. I like The Witch. That was a weird fucking movie. Lights Out was great. And this one was also getting great reviews. I'm like, all right. And like, I was like, man, maybe this is the year that horror makes a comeback, man. So horror movies are my favorite genre. It's always been. I don't know what that says about me, but whatever. And like, I part of me was also worried going into of all the hype this movie was getting that it wouldn't live up to it because there are times where movies live up to the hype that it's getting, like with all these great reviews like Cabin in the Woods, but then there's also times where it don't live up to the hype, and like You're Next. That was a terrible fucking movie. I still don't understand how that movie got as well received as it did. And I'll say this right now, this movie, I'm pretty confident. I mean, give me a couple months time, but ask me by the end of the year. But I'll tell you this: I said back in June that Conjuring 2 is the best horror movie I've seen all year. This, I think, just beat it. This movie fucking ruled. This movie was awesome. God damn, was this a good movie? Really good movie. I just walked out. It was one of the few times I've sat in the theater going, this is fucking very clever. I said that multiple times throughout this movie. There's a lot of points in this movie. I was just like, this is a really goddamn clever movie. The acting in this movie is really good. Really good. Jane Levy, who was the main girl in the Evil Dead remake. Who is what's that girl's name? Damn it, I'm forgetting her name now. The girl that gets possessed, everything. She was the girl that gets possessed in the movie. I liked her a lot in that, and that was like my first introduction to her, and I thought she was great in that. And she's great in this as a pretty sympathetic character. Like, she's probably the most sympathetic. Well, yeah, for the most part, is the most sympathetic character. The one friend that is in love with her is also sympathetic. He's also a really good actor. I've seen a lot of movies like Prisoners and stuff like that. He's always a really good actor every time I see him, young actor. But Jane Levy, you get like a little bit of a backstory behind her that she's this woman or this girl that lives in Detroit, the ghetto of Detroit, with her abusive drunk mother, and I think it's her sister, or I think it might be her sister, younger sister, or might be her daughter. I didn't figure that out. Maybe I missed that somewhere, but couldn't figure that out. Maybe it's her daughter. I couldn't remember, but she wants to get a better situation to get, she is like a robber. Her and her friends steal a bunch of stuff from like a lot of people's houses so they can make a better life for themselves. She wants to eventually get out of Detroit, and that's how they kind of come across Stephen Lang's house, the blind man's house. Is that they hear that he has like $300,000 somewhere in his house, so they figured, fuck it, this is our way out of Detroit, and it makes her a sympathetic character. Like probably the only most sympathetic character, honestly. Fucking because, god damn, Stephen Lang in this movie. I said, and let me talk about Stephen Lang in this movie, because while Jane Levy was great, Stephen Lang probably stole this goddamn movie. If you don't know who Stephen Lang is, he's the guy. He's one of those guys you always see in movies, and and I almost always forget what his name is, and he's the guy who was for what people like in a role that most people would know. He was the general in Avatar, the crazy general that was wanting to, cut down all his trees and everything else and kill all the indigenous people in Avatar and stuff like that. God damn, he should get an Oscar nomination for this role. He is terrifying in this thing, and also somewhat sympathetic to a point, which I'll get in that in a second. But I that's one thing I really liked about this movie, was that for a while there, it kind of did a pretty good balance of, kind of understanding, or like kind of being sympathetic to both sides of the coin with these characters. And it's awesome. They do explain how he kind of could easily kill these people, and the fact that he's a retired Army veteran that was in the Gulf War, and he got blinded by shrapnel or something like that in the war, and that's how he's blind. And it's kind of believable that he could easily kill people with his bare hands, which he does at some points in this movie. And also he is the movie has some it's realistic to a point. For the most part, it's pretty realistic in that really he's just shooting, they're trying to escape him throughout this whole movie because and trying to not make too much noise, because he's just running around with a gun, shooting all willy-nilly at them. And it's kind of at least he's not like an expert marksman like fucking Book of Eli. Fuck that shit. That was the movie I instantly thought of. This is a more realistic blind person, for fuck's sake. More realistic, and I thought, at least. Stephen Lang is really good in this movie. I know he won't get an Oscar nomination. That's just that's just a way of things. But I would love to see it. He is really good in this movie. Like I said, as much as I'm hoping, I'm hoping that maybe just because this movie's getting as well received as it is, maybe it will happen. But I highly doubt it will. This movie is also really well made, really fucking well made. There's a lot of moments in this movie where it's just sounds of creaking floors, sounds of different other things going on in this house, no music, and it's really well done. The camera work is really good. There's a lot of I think long single takes in this movie I noticed throughout this thing that were really well done. Fede Alvarez, the director of this movie, he's the guy who made the remake of Evil Dead, and he was the guy after I saw Evil Dead, the remake of Evil Dead, I hear people say it's a reboot. It was a fucking remake. They basically, after I saw that, I was like, I want to see what this guy does next. And if this is a sign of things to come, I hope he continues doing more original stuff like this. By God, this is really good. I love the clever ways that they were trying to stay quiet. There was a lot of clever scenarios in this movie. It's hard to explain without spoiling it, but there's a lot of clever scenarios. Really crazy, really intense situations that these people find themselves in, trying to hide from a fucking blind person. As much as it almost sounds absurd. People when I first saw the trailer, it's why don't they just fucking escape the house as quickly as just bolt towards the door as fast as you fucking can, and just take your chance there. But he basically boards up to all the windows and padlocks all the doors so they can't get out. I don't know what this is a movie I don't want to spoil too much. But I guess I gotta talk about the twist of this movie. I'm not going to spoil it, I promise. If you've seen all the commercials as of late about this movie, you've heard the commercials for this movie called this movie having one of the best twists in decades. I saw that quote more than a few times. Like, you'll be talking about this twist all day Monday. I'm like, okay, what the fuck is the twist of this movie? I was like, really? It's one of those movies I was sitting there like, I was sitting there watching this movie. I'm going, I don't know what this twist is, but I mean, goddamn, I hope it doesn't ruin it, because this is a really goddamn good movie. And then the twist happened, and the more I thought about it as I was driving home, I was like, really, this twist did not need to happen. It was really not necessary. Honestly, I even told my mom as I was driving home, as I called her and I told her what the twist was, and she goes, what was the point of that? I was like, really, there wasn't. Honestly, other than to make Stephen Lang even more, like, sinister, I guess, and more of a despicable person, and make you root more for the robbers to get out of this situation. Because honestly, there were a lot of parts where I kind of was going back and forth, like, being sympathetic towards his character too, because at the end of the day, they do explain that, like, he isn't kind of in the right to be murdering them, like, killing them, because they invaded his home and they came in with a gun, so he's kind of defending himself. So I mean, it kind of makes sense, like, but then they throw the twist in there and it makes him more despicable of a human being, and you're like, really, that was not necessary for the plot. But I can see people not liking it. I will say this, I didn't mind it because it didn't end once the plot, it goes on for another 20 minutes once the plot is revealed, or the twist is revealed. And if it just ended right where the twist happens, I would have been pissed. But you get some satisfying moments once you find out the twist, what the twist is. You do get some satisfying moments, so I'll give the movie a pass there. I have to be. It's kind of hard to talk about, again, a movie without spoiling it. I'm trying my hardest here, all right? Is there any complaints I would have this movie? The boyfriend of Jane Levy is fucking a douchebag, a major douchebag, and he is annoying. But luckily, he's the first to die. I mean, that's not a spoiler, because if you've seen the trailers, you know he dies. So he is the first to die. And I'll give you this: one of the things I really liked about this movie is that, honestly, all the stuff you see in the trailers, like, happens within like the first half hour, 40 minutes. And then, like, there's more shit that happens. Like, you still got, like, 40 minutes to go of more shit happening that you don't see in the trailers. I'll give you that. That was cool. Like, that scene where, if you've seen the trailer, where he shuts off all the lights in the basement, that was a really well done scene. That was intense as shit. And it's a lot of it's a lot of, like, again, like I said, there's not much music in that scene, and it's a lot of just sounds, and it's kind of fucking creepy. Like, these people, like, close-ups of, like, Jane Levy and one other guy trying to feel their way through this basement in the pitch black dark. I like that. It was a really good scene. It was like, it was reminiscent. I was like, what is that scene reminiscent of? And I was like, oh yeah, that scene in The Silence of the Lambs at the end of the movie. It's kind of reminiscent of that. Like, it's pretty clever. I like that. Really, really like that scene. Also, there are a couple dumb moments in this movie. There are a lot of moments where it's like the characters, like, it drives me nuts in horror movies when characters are running away from the situation. They stop to look. I'm like, dude, keep fucking running, motherfucker. Like, there are a lot of times, like, like that one point. Oh, what was that one thing that did drive me nuts at the beginning, where the douchebag boyfriend, he puts, like, sleeping gas in the blind man's room, so that he can be knocked out or something like that, and he he doesn't wait like only like maybe less than a minute, and he starts banging shit around and like talking real loudly. I'm like, dude, I would make sure that he's fucking asleep before you'd start doing anything. But nope, of course he wakes up and then he murders the guy. I was like, really, dude? Also, this movie is one of the most terrifying dogs since fucking Cujo. God damn. Like, Stephen Lang has a Rottweiler, and that dog is really good. That was a great. That was like he's like one of the main antagonists of this movie, along with Stephen Lang. If they're not dealing with Stephen Lang, they have to deal with fucking Rottweiler. This Rottweiler is crazy. Like, this fucking super dog like jumps into vents and shit. I was like, holy shit, this is like Super Dog. Also, okay, I guess it's getting the one part. This is almost getting the spoilers, but I thought in the movie, if there is one complaint I could have about this movie, is that I thought the last few seconds of this last minute of this movie was kind of did not need to be in there. It felt like an alternate ending that somebody forgot to just take out of the movie. It was like it's kind of setting up a sequel, which really this movie does not need a sequel. I hope to God they don't do it, but because I said that about Lights Out, now they're making Lights Out 2. Anything's fucking possible. I hope they don't make. This is a great standalone horror movie that you don't need to make a sequel. While I want this movie to do well, I hope it doesn't do well enough that they have to make a sequel, because usually if it does really well, then they start making sequels to movies. Also, fucking Stephen Lang basically is Michael Myers in this movie, too. There's a lot of points he should have been dead by this, but of course he fucking survives a lot of shit in this movie, and like, come on, really? Like, oh Jesus! It kind of gets kind of comical at points. It's like, dude, that guy should have been dead. But I highly recommend Don't Breathe. Fucking watch that movie, man. It's man. This has been a great year in horror. I hope it continues. I really do. I hope we continue to get great horror movies over the next few years, and this is not just the only year that we do. As far as trailers go, I got a few new ones. When the Bow Breaks, got a new trailer for that. I keep forgetting this movie's fucking coming out. I got a trailer for this I swear back in February or something like that. And I'm like, damn, is this movie still not came out yet? Damn. I kind of am wanting to see this movie. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't know if I am or not. I'll talk about that in a second. But I kind of do want to see this out of curiosity. This is one of those movies that could be really unintentionally hilarious, to which it kind of does look like it will be, but we'll see. If you don't know the plot, it's about a married couple that decides to get a surrogate mom because they can't have a baby, and the surrogate mom ends up being fucking single white female. It's fucking really fucking crazy. I'm like, all right, that could be kind of really fucked up, but really, really hilarious and done right. If done completely wrong, King Arthur: Legend of the Sword. This movie is Guy Ritchie's take on King Arthur. Okay, why not? It looks like a Guy Ritchie movie. Trust me, it does. I was watching this trailer. I didn't realize this was King Arthur until halfway through the movie, through the trailer. I'm like, I was like, is this Assassin's Creed? I was like, no, this is King Arthur? What the fuck? And it's Guy Ritchie. I'm like, oh yeah, he is doing a King Arthur movie. Okie dokie then. Alrighty then. And it's Charlie Hunnam playing King Arthur. And has who else is in this movie? I forget who else is in this movie. I was like, I like Guy Ritchie, so maybe I'll check it out. I'm a big fan of Guy Ritchie. He's made some pretty entertaining movies over the last couple of years. Blair Witch. Fuck. I finally got this trailer. Man, that's coming in a couple weeks. Oh, God damn it! Is it coming? It's coming in a couple weeks. This is one of the most interesting stories of 2016 for me. And that this movie originally was called The Woods. It was like I remember seeing a trailer for this like months ago, and it was called The Woods, and it was like looked like a generic found footage movie. About people in the woods that get lost or something sinister going on in the woods. And then about less than a month ago, it was changed from The Woods to Blair Witch. Yeah, this is a Blair Witch sequel, people, because we needed that to fucking happen. This is the recurring theme throughout this year is that we're getting a lot of sequels to movies that are like 20 years old, so why not the Blair Witch, I guess? Fuck. I'm not. If you know me, anybody who knows me, I'm not a fan of Blair Witch Project. And of course, this one's getting really good reviews, really strong word of mouth early on, but so did the first one. So I don't know. Maybe this will be good. Maybe this will change my mind. For a long time, this was like my Blair Witch Project was my top pick for the worst film of all time. I will say I've been harsh, a little too harsh on that movie. It's definitely not the worst thing I've ever seen, but it's still not very good. But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm probably gonna end up seeing that. I was like, damn it. As much as a bitch about it, I'm still probably gonna see it because of how well received it's getting. And the last trailer I got was Desierto, or I think that's how you say it. This looks cool. It's about a bunch of Mexicans that are trying to cross the border illegally, American border illegally. And in the meantime, there's Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who's playing a vigilante redneck who is killing them off like with his like sniper, as like he's pretending to be a sniper, just killing them off one by one. It looks fucking great. I love Jeffrey Dean Morgan, so it's like, damn it, this is gonna be really good. And it's also Alfonso Cuarón's son that's making this. So I was like, huh, that's interesting. I'm like, I love when horror movies like this or thrillers try to have a political message in there, and I'm like, it sometimes ends in some pretty hilarious results. So I don't know. So that's as far as trailers go. I'll be back. I don't know when I'll be back, but I'll be back within a few days. I still got to do reviews for Nerve, Kubo and the Two Strings, and War Dogs, I think. And until then, I'll talk to you guys later.